Welcome to Seed Wednesday, everyone. So today's Seed Wednesday is all right. So, um, have you heard the song? I don't even know the name of the song, but it's called, it's just the chorus part where it says, all right, he'll make it all right. And it just repeats, all right. Well, that dropped in my heart. Last week. All right. And I began to type some notes and God began to download some things to me. And the first thought that came to mind when I heard that song this particular time at the top of last week was all ALL right, RIGHT. The first thing I thought of is God's right and my right. I thought of sometimes God's right and my right, they're not going to be identical. And we have to be okay with God's right. We want everything to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. We trust God in whatever situation we're faced with. But sometimes our right, what we think, is not going to be identical with God's right. But it's still all right. His right is always all right. And I want to go to scripture on this. So Isaiah chapter 55, verses 8 and 9, it reads this. And this is what God declares. It says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways. And it also goes and he says, for as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than yours, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. So basically, the way we think is not the way God thinks. The way we work, put it this way, God's way of thinking surpasses our way of thinking. How we work, how we do things, God surpasses that. He supersedes that. God goes before us. So I thought about Jochebed in the Bible, which was Moses's mother, right? She had to watch someone else raise her son. Was that right? Well, from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem right. But it was good for her. And it was also good for Moses. And it ended up blessing her and her family. I also think of Job in the Bible. Job was a great man. He was a good man. But Job went through a whole lot. Job's body was, he became sick and ill in his body. He lost his children, not just one child, but he lost all of his children. He lost all of his cattle. He lost his land. He had a lot of things that happened to him. He had a lot of turmoil going on in his life. But at the end of the day, was that right? At the end of the day, it was God's right. Those things that happened to Job was meant to happen. Those things that happened to Jochebed, that happened to Moses, it was meant to happen. It was a part of God's plan. At the end of the day, sometimes God's right for your life, it won't feel good. Sometimes God's right for your life, it won't even look good. It'll look like it's always the enemy. It'll look like it is the enemy. But remember, in the Bible, talking about Job here, in the Bible, the enemy had to go to God to get permission for things to happen, for things to take place in Job's life. At the end of the day, God knew who Job was. At the end of the day, God created you too. And he knows who you are and he knows how much you can take. At the end of the day, whatever you're faced with, whatever you're going through, God knows. For he knows your expected end. For he created the plan that he even set before you. So we're going to go through. We're going to face turmoil. Our flesh is not going to like some of the things that we're faced with. It's not. We're not going to like it. We're not going to want to continue on. But at the end of the day, we must trust God. I also think about what Job said when his body was feeble, when he was ill. And he said, though you slay me, yet will I trust you. So Job had hard times. He was faced with hard times. And I'm pretty sure Job had some doubts. But at the end of the day, he didn't give up. At the end of the day, he told God, I will still trust you. Even in this, I'm going to trust you. So, all right. God's going to make it all right. And everything that you're faced with, everything that you go through, it's going to be for your best. All things are going to work. It's going to all work out for your good. All things, everything that you're faced with, everything that you go through, what appears to be good or bad, at the end of the day, all right. He's going to make it all right. And it's going to be his right, which is the good right, not our right. That's what we have to line up with, God's right. At the end of the day, it may not feel right. It may not even look right. But if it's God's right, it's the good. It's of good. And it's good for you. And that's what I got for Seed Wednesday on the day, guys. All right. He'll make it all right. I love y'all. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Don't forget to like and subscribe Voices of Substance on YouTube. Don't forget to like and follow Voices of Substance on Instagram. And also like and follow Voices of Substance on Facebook, which is Voices of Substance LLC. I love y'all until we meet again. Y'all take care.